Okay, to use the meal calculator, you need to have entered a valid prescription, and then you simply put foods into the meal. We might take them from my virtual fridge. Pop some of those in. And as you add foods, the balancer will try to balance it to your prescription. And until it can do it, it will show you not balanced. And it'll give you some hints saying you may need more fat to balance. Here it says you may need more protein to balance. Here it's saying you may need less carbohydrates to balance. So we're looking for a food with more fat in it. Put some margarine in there. And we can see that with those ingredients, it has now balanced. Um, it might be that you take foods out of the fridge and weigh them, or it might be that you balance them in the meal calculator and then weigh them to match. Um, Either way, you can adjust the amounts in the meal. So if we look at this and say, well, we know that a piece of keto bread is 20 grams, say for argument's sake, we can slide that slider up to 20, and the other sliders will keep moving to keep it balanced. And I can lock it off with the little padlock so that that one doesn't change. Now I might look at it and say, well, that's a lot of margarine, so we need to bring that down. And we start to slide that. And you'll see that it can go in and out of balanced, and it's making up for the fat that it's looking for in another ingredient. And you keep going until you get the amounts that you want. It's actually easier for the calculators to auto balance when there are more ingredients. So that's something to keep in mind. It displays the grams for each ingredient that you're allowed in that balanced meal, and it does display the macronutrient values of fat, protein, carbohydrate for each of them. If you want to remove something from the meal, you click on the X and it will take it away, and you can put something else back in. Put some apple in there. When you have created the meal that you want, that you're happy with, if it's balanced, the print preview button will show. So the print preview button doesn't show if it's not balanced. You can also save the meal, so you can give it a name. If this is a meal that you're going to use again, it doesn't save it balanced, it just saves the list of ingredients. So if I click on Save Meal, I can give it a name, type that in there, and hit OK. And that now appears in our My Saved Meals list down here. So with the print preview, we can click on that to see what we're going to print it to a PDF or keep it digitally. But before we do, speak with your dietitian and they will tell you whether you should be rounding the output to the nearest 0.1 of a gram, to the nearest 0.5 of a gram, or to the nearest gram. This will be dependent on the diet that you're on and the way that your ketogenic diet is being delivered. So we'll leave that to round to the nearest 1 gram. If I click on Print Preview, here we have a printable version of the meal, and I can put in the patient's name or your own name, and I can put in a name for the meal. And you'll see that it shows the grams for each ingredient, and it also shows the original unrounded value to 0.1 of a gram. Hit the print button and you can print that to a PDF with a PDF converter, and you can keep those meals digitally, or you can send them to your dietitian and reuse them later. So that is how you use the meal balancer. There's nothing else really to it. You keep experimenting, putting foods in, adjusting the amounts. Apart from the sliders, you've also got the little plus and minus, and you can move the amounts by 0.1 of a gram if you want to get it right to a very specific number that suits you. And you can also experiment with holding down the control key and hitting the plus and minus to round to the nearest half. So that's it really. It's something to get in and just play with and experiment with and try different foods out and see how that works for you.